So when I looked at the entry grade Nu Gundam, I compared it with the heavy weapon system high grade Nu Gundam. And I started thinking, is it possible to take the armor and accessories from the heavy weapon high grade and make an entry grade heavy weapon system Nu Gundam? I'm gonna try it out, and it's interesting. So here's the shield. We got that Mega Particle Cannon shield, which just straps onto the old one. I like that. It's very simple connection. Now here is the entry grade shield, and funnily enough, it is perfect, exactly the same. I've heard people say that these are essentially entry grades are essentially modified high grades, like based on the same design, but they've made better detail with the entry grades. I don't know. The funny thing is that clips perfectly on. So we got the shield, no problem at all. The gun, the long range rifle, I don't know if that's what it's called, but it could be. Now the thing you can see that's different, this is the entry grade beam rifle. There is no part here for the trigger finger, and it slides right in. This one, you got the trigger finger port and a peg, which will peg into the hand. This is also kind of interesting if they thought about this ahead, but the hand cover in the entry grade, there is a gap right in here, so you can wedge it in between, so you can have the entry grade hold the rifle. It's not going to be using the trigger, obviously, because there's no trigger finger hand in the entry grade, and the hands are not the same between the entry grade and the high grade. They're very different. Even the hand cover, there's a little bit of extra detailing on the high grade, but you can have your entry grade hold the rifle. So we're doing pretty well so far, 2 for 2. But then we come to the armor. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. We got the calf armor with some thrusters inside. This thing attaches via 2 ports, and unfortunately this one, well, there are 2 ports, they're not quite big enough. Also, you have this added detail with the yellow, which it's not a huge deal, but I think it is just enough so it doesn't sit flush. There's a little bit of a gap. I think if that part wasn't there, it might be better. Still, you wouldn't be able to peg it in because the pegs are not the same size, so you could glue it. Gluing would work, and I think it would look really good. So can you do it right out of the box? No. Will it work? It is possible with some glue, I feel. The front skirts and the back skirts. Right off the bat, you can't, as far as I can tell, do anything with the back skirts because they had to completely redesign the waist in order to give you the red and the V. So I can't see that working. Now the front skirts, on the other hand, these ones are ball jointed, and they just molded the normal front skirts inside because it's supposed to be like clipping over top. These on the entry grade are not ball joints, it's just a bar that goes over top. But you got just enough space to add some ball joints in there. Strange, isn't it? You might think, well, yeah, but it's gonna be a floppy mess. It's made for the bar, not these ball joints. You'd be wrong. Very tight. Really good. Okay, so we got the front skirts on. So it's not looking too bad, and if I did glue these on, you could pretend, if you want to take the fin funnels, on the back, and also the high-grade bazooka, it does fit on the entry grade, so you could add that on there, and it kind of covers the back skirt, so it's not as noticeable. And they're definitely not as different as the front skirts would be, so it's not the worst thing. And finally, we'll take the chest armor. So the chest armor, it has the 2 pegs in each vent hole. So you got 2 pegs on each side. Unfortunately, these vents, when you pull them out, which is rather difficult to do, it's an L shape, so it won't peg into it. But if you do have the vents off, it does go enough into the gap that it's pretty flush against the body. Once again, a pretty much identical design shape, but it holds. I can have them stand up, and that's a shaky bra, but it's a decent bra. It supports. So there you have it. You can do some of it. The front skirts are pretty much perfect, but everything else, either you can't, like the back skirt you can't, The calf armor you could glue, and the chest armor you could just leave it there if you really want to. But the weapons do connect. And I just want to show you, it's heavier, but it's okay. So if you want an entry grade Nu Gundam, that's the wrong one, you can do it, but not straight out of the box. You're going to have to modify something. So I thought I'd try it and see what happens. I mean, now we know, and knowing is half the battle, or something like that.